Are you ready?
Ready, John Peckman.
Hey, ready, John Peckman. I almost wasn't ready. I almost didn't press the button. Can you imagine? John Peckman podcast, all pro. John Peckman's totally professional show. Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come over the bridge, go through one set of lights, pull a U, park in the street. Red neon light. Listen, at the very end, Dave will tell you how to have your very own podcast here in our studio. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. Tell all your friends. We are here today with bass player Tom Terry.
Hey, what's happening?
I haven't seen Tom in a while.
It's been a long time, my friend.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
From Massachusetts, more or less, right?
Oh, I live there.
Okay.
I live there.
Okay.
I have a house there.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
Good place to live in a house. That's cool. I met you playing with Jeff Pitchell long time ago.
Yeah. God, years ago.
Yeah. So you're a bass player, still doing it, still doing things around?
Not around here so much.
Okay.
Doing a lot of touring.
Oh, okay.
Been doing a bunch of that. And
cool.
You know, of course, I was off for COVID.
Oh, right.
But kind of back at it now.
Cool.
And doing some teaching as well.
Yeah, that's cool. Tell us who you're playing with. Where are you going?
Let's see. What am I doing? I've recently been playing with Taz Crew.
Okay.
Who's a songwriter from upstate New York. And we did, 35 days down in Florida.
Hey. That's
down
cool.
in the south. So I got back for the snowstorm a couple weeks ago. And,
wow.
That's tough.
How often does that outfit go out? How far? How often?
I'm not really sure because there was so much downtime.
Oh, right.
For
So you
COVID.
never
But I mean,
got
I
it
go out
then.
with other people too. I'm going out with Tom Craig at the end of this month.
Okay.
For I think 6 days down in Texas. And so just whoever needs me or whatever. And I play mandolin and sing backing vocals
that's
as well.
cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Nice. I've been getting into, well, not getting into, but I go on a Zeppelin bender, every couple of years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And suddenly I'm like, wait a minute, John Paul Jones is the mandolin player. And I've been watching him, YouTube clips of him playing mandolin.
Right.
There's a clip of him playing with Paul Gilbert, and he's playing
wow.
in California. And I'm like, I don't know in the grand scheme of mandolin players how good he is, but it's like it's beautiful. He just diddles and plays forever and melody after thing. And he's a musical guy.
I mean, that's the thing. John Paul Jones was such a musical cat. I mean, he started out as a session guy and, great keyboard player as well. So, I mean.
Right?
He's one of those guys that plays for the song.
I'm starting to want, I was like, oh, is he the most talented member of Led Zeppelin?
Oh, by far.
Right, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't think
Bonzo,
of it.
I mean,
I know.
You
can't.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. It's ridiculous. So tell us about where you grew up, how you got into it all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got great stories from when I grew up and where I grew up. So started out in New York.
Okay.
And then my folks had the good sense to move us out to the Jersey Shore.
Hey.
And that's kind of where the music started for me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. My dad was pretty hip. He was into like a lot of what we're calling classic rock these days.
Okay.
And
what was big around the house?
The Doors' first record.
Hey.
All the Beatles stuff, Sly and the Family Stone.
Yeah.
So that covers it all.
Yeah,
right there.
yeah.
Those three,
Yeah. I agree.
And so, funny story. My dad took me to a party, like a big backyard party, when I was really little, and so I had no idea. It was my first experience with live music, and happened to be Steel Mill, which was Bruce Springsteen's band.
Wow.
Yeah. So go
That's
figure.
crazy.
So I've never seen Bruce except for when I was
Wow,
almost too
he
young
wasn't-
to remember that I saw him.
Can you imagine? That's funny.
Didn't cost $500 either.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no,
So,
that's true.
Yeah.
I'm from Wallingford. It's a small town. And there's a prep school, Choate. I don't know if you ever
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
That was, right in my neighborhood. And back in the day in this town, there was one motor inn in the entire town. There was no lodging anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And there was Oakdale was in Wallingford, which was like a venue. It's now Toyota. It's a bigger, like, I don't know, probably.
Yeah, I actually saw something there recently.
It used to be the Doors played there, Led Zeppelin played there, The Who played there back in the day in the 60s.
Right, yeah, before our time, right?
So anybody that played there used to stay at this motor lodge.
Oh,
My mom
okay.
worked at the restaurant there. So she met everybody who ever played in that town during the time she was working there.
Oh, wow.
And Springsteen played at Choate. at
No kidding.
Yeah, at a auditorium, and my sister was into him. I think it was It was E Street Shuffle, so it was only the second.
Right, and that makes sense. He didn't really break until like that third record.
Right. So I think it was probably either right before Born to Run blew up,
Right,
or
right.
not even. But anyway, my mom went over to them eating breakfast and said, "Which one's Bruce? Who wants to sign this for my daughter?" And
That's funny.
We don't even know where it is. That doesn't exist. The record, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Springsteen. And she didn't know who he was. Nobody knew who he was.
Right. So down there,
You had the same experience. You're like, who's this bum at the keg party?
I had no idea. You know, I was just happy to hear live music, and they let me get on the mic, and
hey, that's
like
cool.
you know when they were doing sound check or something, they let me talk into the mic. And
Imagine
it was
if you-
echoing,
ima-
and it was just,
imagine
I
if
was
you were
hooked.
like- if
I'm
you
like,
were-
I'm in.
If it was like a Forrest Gump thing, if you're like, hey, I made up a song, and you're like, oh, this all, and you're like,
Come on, now touch me, baby.
or you write a Springsteen song. He's like, good idea. That's a
Or I'm
good
one of the
idea.
characters in the Springsteen tune.
Are you?
No, I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
I
right,
mean,
right.
I
you
could be.
Yeah, you could
know?
be. Yeah. South Shore Terry
Or
got
at least a Bon Jovi song. I used to work on the docks, you know.
See what I'm saying? Yeah, maybe that song is about you.
But I got to tell you, the great thing about that area of the country is just like a lot of beach towns, and there's bars everywhere.
Oh,
and so when I was a kid, me and my buddies would.
that's the thing.
I mean, like we would ride our bikes to the bars, and they would let us in because, like back then, I think the drinking age was 18.
Here you go, kid.
You know, I had a mustache in 6th grade, so. But they would let us in and buy pizza and sodas, and so we would see this like live music all the time.
Hey, that's cool.
And so we talked to the guys playing in the bands.
Hey, that's cool.
And they were like, oh, they gave us our address. Come over at my house. I'll show you how to, play.
Hey.
Hotel California on the bass, or
That's pretty cool.
Stairway to Heaven on the guitar, whatever it was,
Why not?
and it was just like, it was like the best musical education, just seeing it all the time.
Yeah. That's kind of wild.
Yeah,
I never
it
would
was
imagine
it was good stuff. It was just being around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the infamous story when I met Alex Chilton on the bus.
Hey.
I was really young.
Wow.
And so my buddy who's a drummer,
Sure.
he his older cousin played guitar in Alex Chilton's revival band. They were reviving the Box Tops for a while.
Okay.
I guess this was probably late 70s.
So this is after Big Star.
I think it was after Big Star, and I think he was hanging around New York and New Jersey, and I think he was doing like a punk thing then. But in addition to that, I think they were doing like a revival. Maybe they're just doing it for a money grab or whatever. And so I saw the guy with the Box Top jacket on. Remember those satin jackets?
Yeah.
And and I said, "Wow, Box Tops, my friends." And I talked to them. He goes, "Oh, my name's Alex."
Oh,
and,
hey.
He goes, "You're going into the city?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I am too." He goes, "Why don't you sit next to me? We'll talk about music."
Hey, cool.
So I sat on the bus. And I really didn't know who the guy was. Like, I mean, I didn't know the magnitude of it till later.
Right.
But he was the nicest guy, and he told me all about publishing.
Hey.
And, it was just a great, it was just like, things in your life are supposed to happen.
Yeah, right.
Put you on your path and,
Sure.
and lead you down the journey.
How long did it take you to find out who he was?
I mean, it was shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
Like,
you were like that was Alex Chilton.
Right, because I kind of went back and then, I listened to the hits and stuff, and then, the Big Star thing, and I was just like, oh my God, like, this was a bona fide, like, serious, musical guy.
Hey, that's cool. And did he have some relevant pointers, info?
I mean, yeah, he told me like about publishing and told me to stay away from booze and drugs and
Sure.
But yeah, so yeah,
And of course you listen. Of course you listen.
Of course I did.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm here today.
I don't need Alex Chilton to tell me that.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So that was one of those things that I felt like that was supposed to happen, and it kind of put me on my path.
I had similar. I guess it's kind of similar. This is funny. There was in the 80s, in the late 80s, 88, 89. I was in a band and we were playing somewhere in New York State, New Rochelle or something like that. And we were, trying to get signed. Tommy Mottola is going to come see us.
Oh, boy.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool. We're on our best behavior. We did the gig. And indeed, Tommy Mottola was there. And we met him. Hi. How you doing? And I'm like, oh, his woman that he's with is hot. I just remembered in my mind.
Oh, okay.
I was like, wow, she's beautiful.
Was she young?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet I know who it was.
Yeah. So I'm like, but it stuck in my mind. I was like, man, that girl that Tommy Mottola had it was Mariah Carey.
Right.
I realized years later.
Yeah.
Years. I go.
That's funny how things like
must
that
have been. I mean, I can't prove that it was her, but it did lodge in my mind. I was like, wow, who is that?
Yeah.
It was her.
Yeah, because that's the thing. When you see
funny.
somebody, you commit that to memory. Then when you see them years later,
Yeah.
you might not remember their name or where you met them.
Right.
But you made some sort of a connection with somebody.
Yeah.
You definitely remember those things.
Yeah, it's funny. So Alex, you're on the bus with Alex Chilton.
Yeah, it was a good day.
That's cool.
It was a good day.
You were playing music by then.
Yeah, I was actually. I started playing in bars when I was 15, 16 years old.
Wow. And he didn't tell you to turn back?
I mean, he's like, he just talked about songs and publishing. So that always stuck with me. And,
That's cool.
and so I've always, wrote and,
Far out.
just done my thing. And,
So started on bass right away or no?
well, actually, here's the funny thing. I have a brother that's a year younger than me, exactly, like same birthday.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Oh, that's heavy.
So my parents would always get us the same gifts for our birthdays
Right.
and for Christmas.
Sure.
So one year, like I wanted a guitar so bad, or I wanted something,
Mm.
because I was into the Jackson 5 commercials and I wanted to get the dance moves together and, and do that thing. And, as it turns out, it was Jameson,
Right.
but
Yeah,
I knew something.
I thought it was Tito.
Right. Yeah. No, yeah. So, so my folks got a bass and a guitar, and I don't think my mom and dad even knew the difference. And my brother was totally not interested in playing. He was a sports guy.
Oh, okay. So he didn't care.
He didn't care. So I wound up like getting both of them and learning how to play them both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of cool. So I got my brother to thank for not being into music.
Bonus.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you switched off between guitar and bass or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I preferred the bass.
Mm-hmm. So at a certain point that became...
Because I always liked drums too. So to me,
the closer you were.
it's closer to
and you
drums.
never played drums?
I mean, I do a little bit, but I mean, it's, I wouldn't do it in public.
Yeah, right.
But
That's like me as a bass player.
I have drums at home and
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I own more basses than drums. But
Is that right?
Yeah. I started on bass. Wanted to play bass first, and I just was not. It's funny, I'm not that talented. I'm okay. Like I can do it,
Right.
but my progress is it doesn't come to me that as naturally as drums, but I still.
Did you start playing when you were really young?
Yeah, I was probably like 11 or 12.
You just were more inclined to the drums?
Yeah. And my bass teacher was like, you should just play drums. Because I would climb on the drums whenever he would leave the room.
Right.
Because bass was like a chore, but drums I would just do it.
You enjoyed it.
And he's like, just play drums. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
But now I have like 5 basses and like 2 drum kits. I like basses. So.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's stupid. And I'm still mediocre. Like I started when I was 11. I probably play like a 14-year-old. Like I made that much progress.
Yeah.
I have it, but not a lot.
That's kind of about where I'm at too with it. So.
Well, actually, playing like a 14-year-old's not bad. It's not a bad thing. I mean,
I mean, it's just a number, really.
Yeah, that's true. So, did you stay in New York? You stay down there forever?
Well,
Like
no. I
when-
mean, I was in the Navy. I thought I was going to play music in the Navy.
Okay.
But it didn't work out. So, when I got out of the Navy, I moved up to New England.
Wow. Where were you stationed?
I was stationed in Virginia.
Oh, wow. Okay.
At Virginia Beach.
For 4 years.
4 years.
Not playing in the band.
No, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, it took me out of, that was the one thing. I mean, I enjoyed it other than the fact that it took me out of music.
Yeah.
So
but then you're like, I got to get back at it.
I got to get back at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, oh well.
Yeah.
It wasn't a waste. Was
No,
it?
it wasn't a waste because, I mean, it definitely, it taught me like discipline in a
Sure.
way where like, I'm better at working at things and,
Oh, cool.
so
That's cool.
it's, no, yeah, I didn't view it as that.
Yeah, right. Were you, before you went into the Navy, playing clubs, starting to do it?
Yeah.
Starting to do
Yeah. I was doing it. I was in, with some older cats and playing and, doing, I guess, they'd be oldies by now.
Yeah,
Some of the stuff we were doing.
Yeah, down there.
Right.
Then you got out of the service and came up here.
Yeah, I got up here and got a place and then kind of made some connections here and then
Why
wound
here?
up going on the road. Actually, I married a woman
Okay.
that, that
Was up here.
sort of, yeah. And
Cool. And who'd you hook up with up here first, music-wise?
Oh, geez.
You know, like what was the scene when you?
It was kind of, I think, a blues scene.
What year would it have been? About
88,
oh wow,
89,
okay. Yeah, all right,
something like that.
cool.
Who did I hook up with? That's a good question.
You know, like what was going on?
It was like
when you
there was a
landed?
place called the TikTok in Springfield,
Okay.
and they had a jam session there on Thursday nights.
Yeah. And you were like, let me just go see who I can meet.
Yeah, and I met some people there, and I wound up, being the house bass player,
Oh, okay.
here and there for that, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So man on the scene in Springfield area, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. And then I started, branching out, and then, once you go out on the road with somebody, then you meet people out there, and
Yeah.
and I wound up just ever since then just going, being back
Yeah.
and forth.
What was the first big road gig?
Jason Ritchie,
Oh, okay.
harmonica player.
Yeah.
That was intense.
That's cool. Where'd you go?
The South.
Yeah.
We were in the South. Yeah. It was an education.
Yeah. I bet.
And actually, yeah.
More so than the Navy.
Well, in a lot of ways, it was the same.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, I mean, definitely a different thing, and a lot of fun though. Had a lot of fun, and that. I mean, what's nice about touring around in the States and going to Europe, you just meet great people.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're there for the best reasons.
Yeah,
The
right,
music, and it's cool. I got friends all over the world because of it.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Otherwise, I wouldn't have probably met many of those folks, obviously.
Yeah. Don't you think sometimes, I guess maybe when you're young, you think, I need to make it or whatever you think that means. I guess I'm going to be on MTV.
Well, that's the funny thing.
Or whatever.
That's the funny thing. Like, so I remember in my 8th grade yearbook, all my buddies not all my buddies, but a lot of my friends they want to be a rock star.
Sure.
I want to be a professional musician.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean,
yeah,
I just wanted to do it.
Gotcha. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
I never necessarily wanted
Yeah.
to be like Bono.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it just seems like that's a,
Yeah.
that's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right. Nobody does.
Yeah.
I guess what I was going to say is, like, in the end, I guess it might be tempting to think like, oh, well, I never made it. But then you just go, like, now that I'm older, that we're older, I just go, well, it's the friendships is what you end up with in the end.
Everybody,
a lot of laughs along the way.
Yeah, oh my
all
God.
spread all over.
And everybody I know is through music.
Right.
Like
right.
everybody
Right.
that's
and
in my
everybody's
life.
funny. Yeah, they're all funny.
Oh,
and
everybody's
goofy.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the end, I just go, yeah, this is cool, rather than, like working at a job where you hate everybody
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
It's although I've been in bands where I hate everybody. But I've been in bands where everybody hates
Yeah,
me.
but those situations usually don't last long.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, the friendships, I guess, are what it's all about. Seems
Absolutely.
like it in the end.
Yeah.
Makes it worth it.
And everybody you've ever played music with, there's some sort of a connection.
Yeah.
That I don't know people that don't play music yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you could be so mad at somebody,
Yeah.
but it's like we played together.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah,
just like,
I think so.
And so there's a spot in your heart for them, even if they were a jerk or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think that's true. Yeah, it could be. So what else?
Well, I guess COVID put a lot of us
Yeah.
out of business for a while.
Yeah.
So I just started writing music and I put out a CD.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
Give you something to do.
Gave me a lot to do because I basically kind of reinvented the way to play the bass.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I
I took a short scale bass and a couple of them, 4 and a 5 string. Added some guitar strings along with the bass strings.
Oh, so that, all right. Yeah, because I saw what you were doing, but I don't know enough to know.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so what I do is I'll take the signal, one of the signals from the bass to a guitar amp with effects.
Okay.
Then the other signal goes to a bass amp. So,
Oh, wow.
so it sounds like 2 instruments at once.
All right, yeah, because I didn't quite understand what it was. But I'm like, yeah, all right, that's cool.
Yeah, so
That's
it
cool.
was like a fun, because it's like, being a bass player and not really, I'd never get a call for a guitar gig. I mean, I teach guitar and stuff.
Yeah.
So I never had to worry about getting tone. And I hear guitar players talk about tone and it's just like, I just plug my bass in all the time.
Right.
So now the situation was, well, what kind of noises, sounds, tones,
Hey.
if you will,
Yeah.
can I get out of this instrument with guitar strings and bass strings on it? So it was a
Oh,
whole,
that's cool.
Yeah, it was a whole process of
Wow.
trying different pedals.
Did you
and different
design? Maybe you're going to design a system. Maybe.
Well, it's in the works, yeah.
Right?
It's the guitar bass, capital G,
That's what I
capital
was
B,
gonna
one
say.
word.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I was just going to say.
Yeah,
So you are yourself and your brother.
right,
You're both
right.
guitar and bass.
That's it.
both instruments.
I'm serving both of my personalities.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
Like you say, that's fun.
Yeah, and singing, and I got the drummer, Wes Parker,
Guitar bass.
working with me, and he sings as well. And
Wow.
so, yeah, we got 10 songs,
Hey.
and we're sort of putting them out one or two
So
at
that's
a
why
time.
you're like, no guitar on the, you
Right.
sent me the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because if I don't tell people, they think it's a guitar, a bass, and drums.
Wow.
And so
So it's a duo trio.
it's, yeah.
Kinda-
I mean,
kinda.
we actually sound like four people because, I mean, because he also sings.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah, so it's
Hey,
a
that's
full
cool.
sound for
That's-
two people.
That's pretty cool.
I think so. It's different, I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably not the most original thing that's ever happened,
Well,
but but it's definitely, I mean, there's been bands, duos like the White Stripes with guitar and drums,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
but this is a little different.
yeah. And maybe if there wasn't COVID, maybe you never even would have.
Oh, definitely wouldn't,
Right?
Because I would have been on the road and teaching and touring and this and
Yeah.
that. So it was just like, what am I going to do with myself?
Invent a thing. That's
Right.
what you did.
Yeah, and just wrote tunes around it, and
That's pretty cool.
and it's cool too because there's limitations. I can't really, without using a looper, which I didn't want to get in doing,
yeah, sure.
which I didn't want to do without using a looper. I can't really solo.
Right.
So everything's got to be like the parts have to be concise, and
yeah.
it's so they're well crafted tunes
Right.
without solos in them. So
Right.
you have to be very creative with
Hey,
that.
that's kind of cool.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody that's heard it so far has really thought it was
You have to
interesting.
mess with the bridge to get different strings.
Yeah.
You
there
know,
was a lot
you
of that.
invented
The intonations, a thing.
Hey, that's cool.
But
you
I
might
just
be onto something.
I think I am.
You know what I mean?
I think so.
The Tom Terry guitar bass.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, and I certainly.
Design a combo.
And I have the website. I have the YouTube channel, Tom Terry Guitar Bass,
Okay.
and I have the. You saw some of the videos.
Yeah.
And so, and I do actually explain how I do it on there too. So if anybody's interested,
Hey,
they can go to Tom Terry
Check it
Guitar
out.
Bass.
you better patent that.
Yeah. Well,
Pat-
yeah, it's in the
patent
works.
pending. Yeah,
It's all in the
yeah,
works.
yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for checking it out too.
Oh,
man.
yeah,
I appreciate
no,
that.
yeah,
And and I just wanted to tell you, man, I think this is a great podcast.
If you say so.
Well, I mean, here's the funny thing: there's a lot of guys that I've heard their names and girls that I've heard their names over the years.
Yeah.
On the music scene that I
Sure.
never, and then it's like I'm getting to meet them through you and your
Oh, yeah.
podcast.
Good.
And I know a lot of them are your friends.
Yeah.
And so it's cool, it's I'm really enjoying it. I usually, so my thing with podcasts is like at nighttime,
Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
kind of, as I'm drifting off, I'll watch it.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
yeah. So,
You're getting very sleepy.
yeah. So you're putting me to sleep most nights.
That's fine. No, that's fine.
No, but I really do enjoy it. You're doing a
Good.
nice job with it.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, everybody's heard the story by now, but Dave, the boss, he did all the, I didn't do anything. He just like, you start next week.
Wow.
He just designed
He
it.
just knew you with a personality. For it.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
just said, you'll be fine. And I was like, but why? And he's like, because you should. Okay. So I just did without thinking about it. I didn't listen to any podcasts. I didn't pay attention to how it was supposed to be done.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the beauty of the podcast. You're just being yourself.
I think, well, I don't know. I don't want to jinx it, but I barely knew what a podcast was. So I
No
didn't
kidding.
really listen to them. I mean, I was aware of them.
Right.
But I don't know what you're supposed to do. So I just kind of do what I think. And then I listen to other ones and I'm like, oh, they're really funny or,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't do any of that. So,
But
whatever.
I mean, look at the most popular podcast is probably Joe Rogan.
Right.
He doesn't do anything.
Right.
He just listens.
Well, you know what?
And I guess he asked the right questions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not going to say that this is a success because I have no idea what the numbers are.
Well, I mean,
because
are you
don't
enjoying
wanna-
it? You're enjoying it.
Always.
Then it's a success, man.
Yeah, I always do.
Yeah.
No, I like it. And people seem to enjoy it. And I get a kick out of it. Because I'm just asking questions that I want to know. That's all.
Right.
It's just a conversation.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
Like I don't. It's not an
Yeah.
imaginary audience.
Like you probably want to know the name of my duo, right?
Which is
Soulstir.
Soul Stir.
2 words. SOULSTIR.
Soul Stir.
Yeah.
Soul Stir.
And you could find it
'Cause
on social media and
Yeah.
Spotify.
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
those,
We'll put a link in underneath.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That's what I hear people say when they do podcasts, but I don't know what it means. We'll put a link in the description.
Oh, right.
I don't even know what that really means.
So that means the way to connect to what they're talking about.
yeah, we'll
Just
do
a
it.
click.
Yeah, do it.
Just clicking on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that's cool. And where are you
Yeah.
guys playing at?
We're not playing anywhere.
Oh,
We're
you're getting it together.
I mean, we got
The
the
Soul
music's
Stir duo.
together,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
essentially, Wes works in other bands as well. So there's very little time for any of that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we basically put the music out, and we're seeing if we get a buzz going, and
Gotcha.
then we may entertain the idea of
Did you play with him in other things? This drummer?
no.
Oh, really?
No.
How'd you find him for this thing?
Well, the place that we teach in Westfield,
Oh.
he actually taught there for a while.
Okay.
And so here's the funny thing. I didn't even know that he was a drummer because he's an awesome guitarist as well.
Oh, wow.
And he was teaching guitar there.
Oh, wow. That's weird.
And I was working with a different drummer that didn't actually work out because of time restraints.
Huh.
And so I made the offhanded comment when I was teaching one day to the guy that owns the place, Whip City Music in Westfield.
Hey,
I'm like,
link in description.
yeah, right. So yeah. So I said, yeah, I'm thinking I need a drummer, And he
Yeah.
goes, oh, you should check out Wes. And I'm like, he's a drummer? I
Wow.
was like, yeah, he's a drummer.
Hey, that's cool.
yeah. So it's like,
That's kind of wild.
it was a good connection.
And he was like, sure, I'll check that out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He was into it. As soon as I told him the idea, he came down. We jammed a couple of cover tunes,
Yeah.
and he was hooked.
And you were like, we could do this.
Oh yeah, because he played exactly the way I need him to play.
Yeah, yeah. So you're inventing a technique too, because I could imagine
Yeah,
you're just figuring out hammer, but like whatever it takes to make the thing happen.
it's like Lemmy meets Keith Richards.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
imagine what that baby would look like.
I was just thinking. Yeah. It would be just one pustule. That's all it would be. It would just be just one big boil.
And
A boil smoking a cigarette. That's all.
and imagine the voice on that.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. So have you been teaching? Would you consider yourself a teacher?
I love teaching.
Yeah, I do too.
It's awesome. And I get to teach, mandolin and
Yeah.
banjo and guitar and
Yeah,
bass.
that's cool. How'd you ever get into mandolin?
Geez. Just years ago, I got one. Somebody gave it to me as a gift.
Yeah.
And I started playing and, then, started getting some duo work and,
Like playing what kind of music? Just whatever.
well, I started off playing like Italian music.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was playing in an Italian wedding band, and then I wound up playing in an Irish group,
Wow.
and got into a little bit of bluegrass,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so it's just
Wow.
another
So it's a
way.
whole other thing.
Yeah.
Were your parents proud when you picked up the mandolin? They're like, there we go. You know what I mean? That's my son.
No, well, I got to tell you, my parents were pretty supportive all the way through.
No, but I mean, when you're
my dad
playing
was actually a
mandolin.
doo-wop singer
Hey, there you
in
go.
Brooklyn. And,
That's heavy.
Yeah, they used to back in the day. They used to find hallways to sing in.
Right. I've heard about
So
this.
yeah.
That's
So
kind of wild.
so that was kind of his thing.
Then they would be
And I think that's how he got my mom.
Oh, really?
I think yeah.
Voices in the hallway.
Voices in the hallway.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then you double as a gang. Some other doo-wop singers want to sing in your hallway, and
Right,
then
you
you
gotta
beat
shake 'em
up.
down for
Yeah,
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a rumble.
And yeah. Then you go get pizza after.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. Wow. So they were into it. They weren't like
Yeah, I mean, as much as they could be into it, like they didn't
Yeah.
really fully understand it,
yeah.
but they were supportive. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And the greatest was the time that they drove to. I think was playing in Rehoboth Beach.
Okay. I don't know.
That's in Delaware. Yeah.
Okay.
And so they
Yeah.
surprised me. They came to my gig. I
Uh-oh.
was on the road with a band,
Oh boy.
and it's like, oh my god, it was
My parents are here.
Yeah, and then, they hadn't seen me play in years,
Oh wow.
and so that was like the greatest day.
That's cool.
Yeah, they were definitely into it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. How did I don't remember because it was a long time ago when a lot
was.
happened. But how did we hook up with Pitchell? I was already in the band, I think. By
You were
then.
already in the band, and
All right.
I had just gotten off the road.
Okay.
And my buddy Kenny Hinton had a radio show. He's passed away since.
Okay.
He had a radio show in Springfield at the college.
Okay.
And he wasn't feeling good one day. And he called me up, and because I would pop in there once in a while and do the show with him, you know. And he's like, "Can you just do the show for me? I'm not feeling good." So I go to the show, and all of a sudden, Jeff shows up with somebody else.
Oh.
And he's like, "Hey, I'm Jeff Pitchell. I'm here to do an interview." And I say, "Well," I said, "You know, is Kenny here?" And I'm like, "He's not here. He's sick today."
Wow.
I'm Tom.
Yeah,
I'm not an interviewer. I'm a bass player, but I'll do my best.
Oh, wow.
So he's, "Oh, you're a bass player?" He goes, "I think I'm looking for one."
Yeah, right.
And it was just all of a sudden, it just happened
that's
like
so
that.
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I interviewed him, and then I went to playing in the band for, I think it was about a year.
Yeah, something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. We had some good times.
Yep.
Some good gigs.
Yeah. Long time ago. I know I lost a lot of, try to remember some things. I can't remember how long ago things were sometimes.
That might have been like 2005,
Okay.
I think, or 6.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Around
Okay.
that time.
Yeah, who knows? I'd have to remember. Was my dad alive? Do you remember? You were around?
Well, here's the funny thing was that I remember the gig where your dad died.
Oh shit.
We were playing in Ocean Beach.
We sure were. You were on that gig?
I was on that
Ooh.
gig, and you wanted to play in the first set,
Oh, bad vibe.
and Jimmy Arnold came to the rescue.
You were there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
I always felt
Wow.
bad. I always felt bad about that gig.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I felt good because I played with 2 great drummers that day.
Yeah.
But you know, at the expense of your dad.
Yeah,
you
that
know.
was a heavy day.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you were right there in it.
Right.
I'm sorry. I just don't.
Nah.
I mean, I
how could
remember,
you?
but I
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, that happened, and that was 17 years ago.
Right.
2006.
Yeah.
Yeah. Far out.
Wow.
And then where did you go? I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. It was the year my dad died. I came back to Jeff, and then it's just a blur.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were still there. I mean, I took some time off.
Yeah. I think I had left shortly after that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember.
I
Where did you go after that?
What did I do? I went on the road with maybe Gina Cecilia. Somebody.
Okay.
I can't remember. I went on the road with somebody. I don't remember.
Yeah,
That's a blur for me.
Yeah.
The different acts over the years.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
So you're just going to do it till the wheels come off?
I don't know. I think the wheels are starting to come off a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Well, I mean, you know, the thing is that getting older,
Yeah.
getting a little bit more selective,
Sure.
you know.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, I mean,
Yep.
I don't have to go. I mean, I could be here, around here, and
Yep.
enjoy myself here and
Sure. It's kind of
play a little bit here and there
Yep. Teach a
around
lot.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
kinda what I'm
it's
doing.
all good.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. So you're not waiting for the next.
I mean, you know, I got things coming up, but I mean, I wind up turning down more stuff than I take these days.
Oh, really?
I do.
Hey, that's
you know,
cool.
I got the taste of being home for COVID,
Yeah.
and
then you're like, hey,
yeah, you know, and it's just like, oh, I'm kind of liking this.
nothing
you know?
wrong with that.
Got a personal life now. I'm happy.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I guess after Jeff, I don't remember. I did some things, but that was like the last kind of road gig ish.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't.
I think you were DJing some too at that point.
Yeah, I had a bunch of stuff going on, but
Yeah.
at some point after Jeff, I kind of stayed a little more local, and now I don't play that much, and I don't really miss it,
Yeah.
which is weird.
Well, I mean, the thing
It's
is
weird.
like you've done it all.
I kind of have.
That's
I hate
that's
to
the
say
way I
it,
look
but
at it too.
yeah,
And yeah.
And I don't want to sound like that I didn't enjoy it or that it was a waste, but
Right.
I'm perfectly happy kind of doing my thing, and then doing gigs that are worth doing are cool.
Right.
But that
Exactly.
feeling of like,
No, you don't feel like you have to be out there Friday night.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is it. I guess it took some getting used to, and then it took getting used to going. I don't miss it.
Right.
I miss the sense of adventure a little, of just like, okay, I have to get to point A from point A to point B by a certain time, and I don't even know
Right.
like what's going to happen between now and then, or what the gig's going to be like, or whatever. The sense of adventure I miss a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
You know, but
Sure.
the gigs, I don't know.
Around here, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's not a whole lot happening.
Right? Right.
You know.
I mean, I hate to say been there, done that because it's a cliche, but kind of. You know, I don't.
Well, I mean, you've done it. You know, I mean,
Kinda.
that's yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I look at it. You know, like
Yeah. Yeah. What else is there to do? Far out. Wow. Okay. What else you want to talk about? Hey.
well, I don't know.
You know, just this and that.
Just in that.
Doing your thing.
Just keeping it going.
What do you hope to happen with the guitar bass? Like YouTube traction or
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting some of that, and you know, just like maybe some placement and with the music actually, you know, maybe some placement and
Yeah.
whatever shows or whatever
Yeah,
it is, or
that's cool.
Yankee Stadium, you know, something.
Yeah, just something small.
Something,
small
yeah,
gigs.
like so
Yeah.
that's in the works. So
That's kind of cool.
yeah, so because I mean that's perfectly acceptable way to earn a living, you know.
Well,
like
you know,
the way things are now.
you know, kind of. I sometimes think about that. I just go, you know, you put something up on YouTube and let's say, you know, God forbid, let's say a few thousand people like it. That's more knuckleheads than you ever reached in bars, maybe ever. You know, like when you add it up, you just go, well, we just want to be heard a little. I mean, whether it pays the bills.
Well, it's a
or
different
not.
kind of knucklehead.
Right. Yeah, it's a different kind of. But I'm just saying, like, if you have an original, if you have something that you care about, that you.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I mean, you're playing music and you're touching people. It's the same thing, really.
Right.
But it's just
right.
a different medium now.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, because we didn't know. We just thought the only way you could do it was one bar at a time or whatever.
Right.
You know.
Right.
What music were you into? Like, do you consider yourself like a blues guy or just by default?
I mean, not really, but I mean,
Yeah.
I do like that music.
Yeah.
And I can do it.
Are those the call? So what do people mostly call you for? You think?
There's a lot of that. There's like, you know, under that umbrella, the roots music,
Yeah.
Americana.
Yep.
So yeah, like that. And, you know, but I mean, I've played in reggae bands and soul bands and funk bands.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
I mean,
The whole
it's,
thing,
you know, I
whatever.
mean, that's the beauty of being a drummer or a bass player. If we can do it, we can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Just give it
and
a
we can
shot.
do it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah,
Do you play upright?
I do.
Oh, hey.
I do.
There you
Yeah.
go. That's cool.
I do.
When did that happen? Along the way?
Yeah. I went back to school
wow.
got a music degree
Oh,
as an
hey.
adult, you know, and so I picked up an upright. And
Oh, hey, that's cool.
I got on top of that. And
Hey, why not?
yeah. So
Pretty cool.
I do that, and
Jazz?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was to study. I mean,
Yeah.
does anybody really play jazz though?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Sure.
I mean, but
sure.
you know, that's definitely that's one of those things that you can always aspire to.
Yeah. Right. It never
know.
ends.
Right, never ends.
That's cool.
So that's the good news.
What would your? Well, I guess the guitar bass thing is the answer, but like, if you could do anything, what would it be? What would the Tom Terry vehicle be?
As far as music,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I've done it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. You're
you
like
know,
me. Like, we're so used to accompanying.
I mean,
you know?
whatever comes my way, I'll,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I'll go with the flow, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
But I don't have aspirations like
Yeah, right.
like dreams like that, or
Yeah, right.
You know, that went away when I was.
Yeah. Our dreams died a long time ago.
Well, and again, that's like I said in the 8th grade yearbook. I just wanted to be a professional musician. I didn't want to be a rock star.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever.
Hey, mission
you know,
accomplished.
meet good people.
Yeah.
and play good music with good people.
Yeah,
I mean,
travel around.
yeah.
What's the most interesting place you've been that you would say?
Oh, jeez.
I haven't been around that much, so interesting.
Mississippi's an interesting place.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
How so?
and you know, Spain's beautiful. I
Wow.
like there.
Never been. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's every place has its own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I always try to look for that.
Yeah.
You know, and
Like what's the vibe?
the vibe and the people, and you know, the local cuisine.
Where in Spain? I don't know much about Spain.
I've toured all over the country.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Why
I
there?
like the Basque. Well, one of the bands I was working with had a pretty strong connection
Okay.
to that market there.
Wow. That's
And,
cool.
The north of Spain is the Basque. They call it Basque country,
Okay.
and it's just the seafood there is amazing, and the architecture is Arabic influenced.
Yeah, right. Sure.
So it's different than the rest of Spain.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. It's like you don't know where you are.
Yeah, right.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's so unique to itself.
Yeah, that sounds pretty
like
cool.
that place.
Yeah.
That area.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd go back.
I'd go back.
Yeah. Are you going back, or that thing is over, whatever it was?
Yeah, no, I don't have any plans of going. I mean, I'm sure I'll wind up back over in Europe soon enough.
Okay.
But there's no plans at this time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah, no, it's all. I mean, just go with the flow, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Wherever you end up, you end up.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Who are some of your base heroes? Boring, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah, why not? Well, Jameson was the first one that I didn't know who he was for many years.
Sure.
But
he was your 5 favorite bass players. It's all the same guy.
Oh, he was, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that was the thing, the cartoons, the Jackson 5 cartoons on Saturday morning. And, you know, they had the console pumping.
Yeah.
You know, with the big bass in it.
Yep,
and I didn't know what it was, but I know how it made me feel, you know.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And my mom was cool. She went out. I told her I wanted the clothes. You know, I wanted the guitar. I wanted, you know, I wanted my hair like that.
Yeah.
She goes, all right, I'll get you the clothes and we'll get you the guitar. And you might be able to dance like that, but you're never going to have your hair like that.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. So Jameson definitely,
yeah,
the Stack stuff. Was that David Hood and like those guys, Tommy Cogbill.
Yep.
That stuff. Lemmy.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Jocko, of course.
Yeah. Sure.
You know, just McCartney.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Just anybody that ever like did something on it, you know, like that you could feel, you know.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
How about you? Who are your bass heroes?
My bass hero?
Yeah, why not?
Wow, I never thought about it.
Tom Peterson?
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, he's like Lemmy. It's like, is it bass? It's like Tom Peterson. He does his own thing.
Right. That's cool though. I mean, I
mean, you know how it is. When I was a kid, the first bass I noticed was Kiss, you know.
Yeah, that was a big one for me too.
It was just, that's, you know, when you realize like, oh, this is a different thing from a guitar, and then disco was a big deal.
Oh yeah.
So the bass part in Boogie Oogie Oogie, like, what's that?
Oh yeah. Actually, I just taught a student that not too long ago.
Oh really?
A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. And so, you know, so I was like, oh man, I want to do that. My uncle was a bass player, so it's like, okay, that's
cool.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, bass heroes. Gee, I never thought about it. I never really thought about it. That's funny. I do. You know what I'm discovering is like, I mean, I love Tower of Power like anybody does.
Yeah.
But I kind of dig Average White Band. I like the funky pick bass. It's kind of a different thing.
It is a different thing. It's a cool thing too.
Yeah. I lately that's what I've been into, because I play with a pick.
Right.
I can play bass with my fingers, but I don't know why. I just mostly like to pick, and I'm like, hey, this is kind of funky. You know, you can do stuff with the pick.
Definitely.
It's different.
I mean, McCartney used to pick.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah. So I'm kind of into that a little bit.
But and then, was it Anthony Jackson?
Yeah, right.
Played with a pick on the...
Yeah,
For the Love Money.
Yeah, sure.
One of the greatest iconic bass lines ever.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, bass heroes. I never really thought about it. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I do, you know, I do remember, McCartney. I used to put on Sgt. Pepper. I would put it on in the basement and then go upstairs so I could just hear the bass lines.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was the only thing that it was my way of isolating it.
Right.
And I would just dig it all.
That's cool. Now you can go on the internet and you could find all the isolated tracks.
right.
Which is really cool.
Yeah. Now you got me thinking. So, speaking of reggae, I mean, I was really into reggae. So Family Man, I love his playing.
Yeah, Fam's just the best.
And then I don't know if you ever got into XTC, that band, English band, like kind of post punk, but they're the latter half of their career. That guy is he's a monster.
Oh, what was that guy's name?
Colin Moulding.
Yeah.
Just great.
Yeah,
and he plays. Yeah. He's like one of those dudes. It's like they have a different drummer on every album.
Okay.
And he can hang with anybody.
Yeah,
whether it's Prairie Prince or Dave Maddox or Pat Mastelotto.
Okay.
Those are whoever the drummer is. He's just just hangs in there, and he can really burn sometimes too.
Right.
But you don't think about it because it's so songy.
It's in the music,
musical.
yeah.
But then you're like, wait a minute, man, this guy's a monster.
Right.
Like, he's a monster, and no one would ever.
Right.
His name never comes up. But that's
it's almost like on drums, Bunny Carlos.
Right.
It's like it's just he's so in the song.
Yeah.
You just don't realize how awesome he was.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. at least for me, I always liked Bunny because I was a Cheap Trick fan. But then when I would try to be in a band or in the studio or trying to make something happen and not being able to get the groove to happen, and then I would say, well, what would Bun play? And then it would start to work. And you're like you say, you don't know until you do it. And then you go, oh, wait, no, this works. This is why, because this is a way to do it. That doesn't it's not apparent, but when you apply it, it always works. Yeah. You're like, this is the way it should be.
Right.
And at least for me, when it comes to playing anything that's related to rock and roll, it's either him or Tom Artolino from NRBQ. It's just, you can't go wrong.
Springfield guy.
Yeah, a Springfield guy.
Yeah.
You just can't. You really can't go wrong, to me, between them and Ringo. Those are the three, at least for me, that it always comes down to when it comes to rock and roll, because they know how to work a band.
Right.
To me.
Yeah.
I like flashy guys too, but as I became more of a working guy, I just realized if you go down any one of those lanes, it's going to work. Right. And I mean, Bonham's a good thing to know too. He'll get you out of a bunch of jams, but I just Bunny's one of those people that I was like, oh, this does work. Right. This does work. This is the way I should be playing this. It's weird. Has a better ideas than most people.
Right. So for me, for bass, I always think like you're talking. I think about George Porter.
Sure.
I think about that because I mean that's groove. No matter what technique he's applying on the bass.
Right.
It's always grooving.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you? Stop me if anybody. I don't want to tell the story again. I have to. I did the meters. Vic. Fast forward because I'm starting to repeat myself. I got a call to do a session. My mentor Vic, he has a studio. He was my drum teacher, and he has a studio. And he called me up one day. This is years ago. He goes, "Hey, can you play Sissy Strut?" And I said, "Well, sure." He goes, "Can you play Sissy Strut tomorrow at 9 a.m? Show up here and play it." And I said, "Sure, why?" And he goes, "Can you play it with Leo of the Meters?"
Wow.
And I said, "I don't know about that." And he goes, "Well, I need you."
How old were you?
I was old enough, probably in my 40s.
Oh, okay.
30 something. And it was for an instructional video.
Oh, okay.
He wanted to play to track.
Sure.
And they needed the track, and they just said, he's going to play bass and guitar. We just need a drum bed because we don't use a drum machine. Can you just come down?
So were you actually on the video or you were just on the track?
No, just on the track.
Oh, that's cool.
But so I come down, I'm all nervous. It's early in the morning, so I got my glasses on.
Doing your best zig.
Yeah. Okay. How's it going? Nice to meet you. And then we go. So Leo's in the control room playing. He might have been playing bass or playing guitar. I don't remember. He's going to overdub one or the other. I think he's probably playing bass and go overdub.
Right. That makes
and
sense.
I go out in the room, and it just so happened the way Vic had the drum set up, it was my back was to the glass.
Okay.
So I couldn't even make eye contact with him. He's like behind me, and we go to play Sissy Strut. And I'm playing, and I can't even tell just from body language whether I'm even getting close.
Right.
And then I don't hear anything through the talkback, and I'm just trying to play with them, and it sounds to me like it's kind of happening, and it's cool.
Yeah.
And but I'm just feeling like I want to turn around, like
right. You want to be grooving with the cat.
And I'm like, I have no idea what's going on behind me.
Yeah.
And it's like the way his studio is like a legit, the talk back. So when you're done with the take, you don't hear anything. We get just done with the take, and it's like boom, and there's just silence. And I'm like,
the longest silence of your life.
Yeah. And then Vic just goes, "Yeah, it sounds great. Come on in." And that's it. But I was like, oh no, I have no idea what.
So was like Leo cool about it?
Yeah. He was.
Like,
and it turns out he was totally. I love you playing. And he said...
you play with it, but it would have been nice if you could have actually saw it.
Well, that's what I mean, just so that you're on the right track.
Right.
Just trying to play without getting a visual.
Yeah.
And so we did a bunch of things. And then, hey, nice to meet you. Everything's cool. And I leave. And then Vic calls me the next day. And he's like, he said, you did a good job. He goes, he loved you. And I said,
nice.
Oh, really? I didn't know. He goes, man, when I saw that kid come in with them big glasses, I said, he's not going to be any good. He goes, that kid was all right. Okay. Thank you. That's all I need. But it was heavy. It was kind of heavy playing with him because you're just like, I'm not going to.
A lot of history there.
But don't you think you ever been in this scenario where you're like, I mean, I never played with them, but the meters is part of your thing.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you end
Yeah.
up playing with people that you've played with,
Right. Yeah.
but not really, but you know the vocabulary somewhat because you're familiar with, they don't know you,
Right.
but you know their thing.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So that came in handy because I was like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I'm going to now play meter style drums.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, you are. It's the
Right.
dude in the meters. So, but I managed, and then of course, then I heard it back and I was like, I wouldn't have played that. You know,
Yeah,
like
well,
I just didn't in the moment.
Your own worst critic is
But it was
always,
okay. I thought it was groovy
yeah.
enough. And then of course when I saw the final video, it's just you could barely hear the drums, and that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. Not like I made a record.
That's
you know,
all.
with
Yeah,
it,
right.
But it was funny.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. But can you imagine like the one chance, and you they're burning eyes in the back of your head. You can't even really see how you're doing.
Yeah.
Oh well.
That's wild.
That's the way it goes, I guess sometimes. You know, what is there any nerve-wracking studio experience that comparable that you could share that comes to mind? That was one that
I don't, you know, and anytime I did studio stuff, it was really quick.
Oh yeah.
You know, and now I'm at the point where, you know, I got the software at home, so
Yeah.
you know, I'm just
You
sending-
just play every note on the bass once and then just Pro Tool
Pro Tool
just put it all
everything,
together.
yeah. Just
Yep.
yeah. No, it's so. I mean, actually, so for the record, I pretty much we went to a studio with high ceilings and cut the drums live.
Oh, cool.
and
That's cool.
And then I did all the overdubs at home.
Oh, that's cool.
Vocals and
So get the good drum sound and then
that's yeah.
Right,
I mean,
sure.
unless you know how to get a good drum sound. And so the funny thing is, I recorded the album once.
yeah.
And I went on a road with Paul Nelson, who's a producer, and he's listened to it, and he's like, "Yeah, this is really good." But he goes, "You need more bombastic drums."
Okay.
He goes, "You want to sound more like Bonham. This sounds a little bit too punk rock
I see.
for what you're doing."
Oh, I got you.
So I'm like, you know what? I try to do it at home.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I do have some recording experience, but I mean,
Yeah,
you just
I
gotta have
know.
you gotta have, you know what I mean.
Yep.
So we went in the studio and we did it proper.
That's
and,
cool.
And yeah, and it came out.
And then but by then you had the dry run, so he probably just do
nailed,
one day and
yeah,
just goes in.
we
there.
nailed it. We just nailed everything in
That's
a couple
cool.
of hours because
Yeah.
we had been rehearsing a lot. So
Yeah, right.
that's
cool.
yeah. So we got it exactly where we want it.
It's what
We took our time with the vocals, you know.
Yeah. Why not? Why
Yeah.
not? Cool.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting close, so let's do. You know what the wrap up questions are? Have you thought about them?
I don't know. There's a bunch of questions, right?
Just-
Desert Island Record,
Yep. Hit it.
Rubber Soul,
Sure.
Sly and the Family Stone's Greatest Hits. That's a compilation.
Amen.
I don't know if that counts.
No, I agree, and I also agree. That's
Lenny
one-
Kravitz's first record.
Yeah, you know what?
You know?
Yeah, I do know.
Yeah.
He's a great drummer.
He is a
He's
great
one of the
drummer.
best guys that plays everything drummer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Out of
yeah,
a
yeah,
handful, He's a really underrated drummer.
Yeah. I mean, I can go on and on with records, you know.
Go ahead. Yeah, but I love that Lenny Kravitz. I saw Lenny Kravitz at Toad's when it was half full. I bought that first record.
I used to see him in the band in New York before he was Lenny Kravitz.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. He
Super
was
talented.
Yeah. Talented cat.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah. Exile, Stones.
Sure. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, I've been getting back into Some Girls
Oh yeah. Okay.
lately.
Yeah.
I've been getting back into that one.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was sort of my introduction to.
That's Miss You? Is
Yeah.
that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Far out.
All of that stuff.
Yeah.
All that
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. Desert Island food.
Ooh. Well, pizza would be the easy answer,
Sure.
but any kind of pasta,
Yeah.
you know, with
Anything like
with
that.
my own sauce on it, of course.
Of course. Yeah. Of course.
You know.
That's
That-
cool.
Yeah.
The
I like sushi too.
Yeah.
I could if it was any of those three I could live with.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't starve.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Exactly. Is there any concert that you saw that sticks in your mind as like you were like this? I want to do this. That changed your.
But I think my first concert.
Was the Springsteen at?
Well, I don't really count that as a
Yeah, yeah,
concert.
yeah.
I don't even think we stayed long.
Yeah. Right. Well, they
But-
sucked. He sucks.
Yeah. I saw Foghat in like '79 or something
really?
like that at Asbury Park Convention Center,
Wow.
and it was like I was just like, yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah.
You
I
were
mean,
like, this is cool.
I don't like them so much now, but I mean, I guess maybe because it was the first you know, my first concert, you know,
Yeah, right.
the smell of reefer in the air,
Sure,
and you know, the whole experience,
the whole thing.
Yeah. So I think that was it.
That makes sense.
That was it for me.
Yeah. Do you know? It's probably not the same thing. You know Joe Bouchard from Blue Oyster Cult?
We've met.
He was here. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a cool dude.
Yeah,
is
he's a
that
good
your
guy.
area or no? That's more Long Island, right? He's
a
that
Long
where he's
Island
from?
guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's not.
Yeah,
your
my
scene.
family's from Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, different scene.
But I actually met Joe up here. I think through Jeff.
Right.
One of the
We
times.
probably did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, he's awesome. He's funny. Because that was, they were a big deal.
Oh yeah.
Blue Oyster Cult
Oh my God, they were
around then. So Foghat, that was it.
Yeah.
You were like, this is me. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely.
That's cool.
Slide guitar.
Yeah, right.
Like I didn't really know what it was, but I knew that it was a cool thing.
Yeah, you're like, that's the thing.
Yeah, and I guess that was probably, that might have been the first live blues I ever heard, even though it's a rock band.
Yeah,
but they had that blues. Blues overtones.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Far out. All right. What are the other questions, Dave? I'm a little out of it today. I don't remember. The show, the Desert Island albums, Desert Island food. What else? I'm off my game, yo. I can't remember. Dave's off his game too. Well, I mean, we're close enough. I mean, you could wrap it up. Is there anything you want to add?
Oh, I just thanks for having me.
Of course.
I just wanted to.
It's a good excuse
maybe do a
to
little
hang
plug for the recording. The
Of course.
Soul Stir.
Soul Stir.
Yeah, STIR.
Yep.
2 words. SOUL
Cool.
And I guess you could find it pretty much everywhere where people download music.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Yeah.
Or they stream it.
Yeah.
And it's on all the platforms.
That's cool.
And
it's a whole album's worth.
Well, it will be.
It will be.
Essentially,
you're doing them one at a time.
Yeah, one or two at a time.
Yeah,
The third one's going to drop on April 20th.
Hey.
And so just kind of putting it out that way.
Yeah.
That's how the kids listen to music these days.
Right.
They don't listen to whole albums. So
yeah, no, that's all right. It happens. It
So
happens. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so people want to check it out, or there's a Facebook page with the band name.
Cool.
And I'd love to hear from people. And then of course the YouTube, the Tom Terry Guitar Bass.
Hey.
Is so check it
Trademark.
out.
Tom Terry Guitar.
I do a lot of fun videos on there and
get
a little silly. I got a little comedy routine on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the thing I've been doing? Comedians in cars by themselves. Do you know about that?
No, I don't. I didn't hear about that one.
Are you a comedian? You should do that.
It's comedians in cars by themselves.
Yeah. You just do bits into your phone while you're driving around, and he'll edit them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good, actually.
I'll have to check that out.
He like asked me, he's like, hey, would you do? I'm like, dude, I've been waiting my whole life. I could do this all day.
Really?
I got 50 routines. I used to work at a comedy club, and I would corner the comedians and go, here, I got a bit for you. You want to hear a bit?
Oh, so you're pitching your bits to the comedians?
Yeah.
Anybody ever use anything? Or
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Imagine I'd be like, that son of a bitch. Like somebody becomes
Dave
the
Chappelle,
most
I'm gonna
famous.
get him.
Yeah, you're like, I wrote that bit. Yeah. No, I'm not that. I'm not that funny. I mean, I'm funny, but not funny.
Right? Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? We can get out of here.
Yeah, man.
We can get out of here. Allergies are starting to kick in. I'm a little bit out of it, but that's okay. Tom Terry made the ride all the way from Westfield.
Yeah, I was actually teaching out in Westfield tonight.
Hey, shout out to Westfield.
Yeah. Whip City Music. It's a place much like this, actually.
Yeah.
A music school and a music store. And
no, that's killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta love it. Yeah, no, kids are awesome.
It's good to see that places like this are still alive and well.
Yeah, they're around.
It's important to the community, I think.
I think so. I think so. I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. Pretty much got my start here. I'm still doing it.
Nice.
So, I'm gonna press the button.
All right.
It can be the loud sound of music.
All right.
John Peckman Podcast, Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come over the bridge, go through one set of lights, pull the Yui, park in the street in front of the music store with the red neon light. What do you think about that? Listen, Dave will tell you how to have your very own podcast here in our studio. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Thank you, Tom Terry, for making the trip. Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
All right, take it easy,
all right,
kids.
Take care.
Drive safe. That is all.
Ciao.
If you'd like to start your own podcast, give us a call at Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Our professionally designed podcast space is here for all your recording needs. Rent out our studio to do interviews with up to 4 people, to record audiobooks, social media content, and all other recorded material. Our rentals include a private studio along with our professional-grade podcasting equipment, and we can customize your output to whatever your needs are. We also have green screen capabilities, which will expand to video capability if you so wish. So check us out here at convalley.net/podcast.